Or two before we start. Okay, what's up, YouTube? Okay, everybody's in the house. Cool. All right. Well, pre-official posting. Okay, Patreon's up. Facebook is up. Cool. All right. See who's hanging around. All right, we don't need that. Excuse me. All right. Well, welcome to episode 4 of Real Talk with Keith Motherfucking Walker. We are here on Independence Day. It is July 4. It is America's 250th birthday. Wow, that's an interesting number. Okay, so we have that. Cool. All right. And things to be grateful for, right? Uh, Don't mind me. There goes my computer doing its standard. I want to clean your shit up. Right in the beginning, middle of my posting. Okay, so what are we doing today? Well, welcome back in. And I mean, that's reasonably fitting. I threw the rumor out to the rumor mill that today's episode we were going to talk about gratitude. So, again, just one. I'm not going to bore anybody with a lot of politicals or any of that kind of stuff. Those are topics for another day. We can play. But I mean, again, it's welcome to America. One of those places on the planet where we are allowed to do shit like this. There are a lot of places that we're not. So that's as far as I'm going with it, as far as that goes today. We are free to talk and do crazy shit like this and spew content, whether it's bullshit or not. So I've seen a lot of, right? And have we not all? So that's what we're doing here today. So as a part of this process, again, I have had time on my hands, so I am abusing it in manners that keep me entertained. And part of that is just spending a lot of time sharing the toolbox, for lack of a better way to put it. My toolbox was built, as many of you know, based on a necessity of keeping myself alive as a result of being in the throes of addiction way back in the late 80s. The things that I did, foundation building, and ways and means to deal with life on life's terms, literally were life and death. That's where my decisions and choices had taken me, is to the brink of that. So, part of, again, what we're doing here is I got the time and the ability and the freedom to care and share amongst my brethren and sisterin how it is that I get through a day on this rock. And so there's a lot of tools in that toolbox and a lot of necessity for it. Again, bringing back to the point, today's tool in the toolbox is one that we call gratitude. And I'll dump a little science on you just because science, bitches, right? Addiction, whatever we want to call that, it's habits, right? These are things I do again and again and again and again and again and again. It's the go-to, it's the mechanism, it's all that kind of stuff. Well, again, a lot of people view that as like some kind of moral issue or ability to make good choices, strength of will, yada, yada, all that kind of stuff. But there's some, I mean, obviously it's a biological situation. Habits are built, and we know this. And I bring this up because it's part of a challenge that has been thrown to me that we've thrown amongst each others. And so the biology is we can build new habits, right? In behavior. And what I mean by that is doing something every day. Like you can build new neural pathways in your brain in 21 days. Like that's what it takes. So this is why even back in the day, they would tell you things like go to 90 meetings in 90 days if you've ever heard that, if you're in the recovery realm. And there's a reason for a lot of that stuff, and it's just because it becomes a habit, and habits can be very helpful, again, because part of the problem with like any habit is if you're doing something and it makes you feel good and it becomes habitual, your brain can become dependent on it to some degree. And then when that thing is gone, you notice it. Like you feel the gap, which causes a lot of things, anxieties, depressions, withdrawals, whatever. And it doesn't matter whether it's good things or bad things. When it comes to that point, that being said, again, it's always better. Like you're going to have a choice, like things that are healthy for you and things that are not. So better to build good habits. Like I'd rather be like dependent, addicted, like jonesing for gym work, um, which any of you health and fanatics know. Like if you skip gym day, you notice it. You don't feel as good. And then it's like, oh shit, I need to go back and go do that. Um, or I missed that, whatever that means. So I'm bouncing around a lot, and I hope I'm not losing you. Don't mind me. And I'm still bouncing. Um, so anyway, that being said, back to the point, gratitude. So here's the task at hand is pick your favorite number. It can be 3, obviously. It can be 5. These are standards. I played at 10 for a long time, was challenged to me, and I've just done that for a lot of years. And but every day, if you make a list, make a post, make a conscious check in, however you do this, but 3 things that you're grateful for every day for 3 weeks, you will feel better about life. Just is. It'll become part of the new normal. And what is that? What does that betterness look like? I mean, my experience has been just simply it's because I start my day with the gratitude list. As many of you know, there's a lot of people in the gratitude chains and all that kind of stuff, and we share them with each other, and that is a special, spectacular thing. Um, it's part of that ritualistic routine, whatever we want to call it. And I literally have not missed a day in fuck, I don't know, 15 years or better. And hey, baby, and and I don't want to either. Like I don't want to challenge what I'm saying here. I'll just leave the science books to back me up and other people's experiences. What what I know is it's really hard to have a bad day when I start off in gratitude, right? Because then I almost feel guilty. Like if my day turns to shit and I get hung up in that bad attitude of shit, there's a part of me because of the habit, because of the foundation, like there's just that little guy over here. It's just like, aren't you fucking grateful for something? Like, isn't your life pretty fucking good? Or this thing or that thing? You know what? It's just kind of a lot of times it's just that subconscious nod from the universe that's just like, hey, dipshit, seriously? You're bitching about this fucking little thing or that thing? or this big thing. Like, it doesn't even, like, that doesn't justify any of it. Um, it just, again, this is, and it reels it back in, right? If I start falling off the edge of attitude for any number of reasons, a gratitude check is like brings it back home, like it's doing right now. It does. So, um, I'm throwing that out right here and right now, just in the middle of this speak. If you get to the point where you're seeing this, right? Here's the invitation. If you're here, you got my digits. You know how to get a hold of me. I do, and again, I have been a part of gratitude chains. It's part of the process. Every morning I shoot out text. It goes on Facebook, on Pam's gratitude crew. Check it out. Um, Emails, whatever. Some of it even now, like I've thrown a couple. I've had some responses on Reels, which I appreciate the hell out of, and so I'm very grateful for that as well, because I know, like, this is easy shit, right? These are easy parts of saving the fucking planet, for lack of a better way to put it. It's just sharing that. I know this because I've already had the reaction. It's not because I'm great or better or any of that kind of stuff. It's just one motherfucker just like you, willing to knock on the door and say, let's have a better day. And a human response comes back and says, you know what, I'm down with that, with a better day. Have we not thrown at least a little pebble out into the pond of life and seen some of that ripple effect started, however hippie-esque that can be? But these are realities. That's just physics, right? Garbage in, garbage out, and if I put, some positive efforts into something, then I expect positive results. So saith the universe. So there we go. And again, it's so we talked about the science of what that is. Again, it's the building of habits, and we're going to do, obviously, hanging out in this room, we're going to do a lot of that over time. I mean, it's just until I get shooed off the air or life throws a wrench at me. This is the idea, because again, through the process, like, if we want better lives and better behaviors and better reactions and better choices and better outcomes, etc., all that kind of stuff, we build that, like, one day at a time, to coin a phrase. And it's life comes fast sometimes, and we have to build the pathways. We have to create the new habits so that our reactions are, if you don't see me on there, are like this, right? Oh, ow, 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 wow. That's a knee-jerk reaction, right? This is like checking out your reflexes. And we want positive shit to be the reaction, to be the new normal. And so we build that, like I said, through this habit process. So gratitude is that. What other stories do I want to tell about gratitude, being grateful? It's not hard. I'm going to tell a story just cause I do another live stream podcast gig with a new good friend of ours, old Doc Charlene, and we did our first episode the other day, and for which I'm very grateful for, and it went off pretty darn well for first go and all that stuff. But really interesting, and I wish I had a camera going for that. And there will be more of that kind of stuff available. But our conversation after that, kind of diffusing inventorying whatever, like what had just happened and how we did and all that kind of stuff. We covered a lot of different topics, and one of them, well, one thing that was very interesting is we got into a discussion about gratitude because it came up during our podcast. And you know, she she asked the question about, um like, if you were in this circumstance, and the circumstance was not a good one, like, uh homeless, addicted, zero resources, zero any, living on the street, all that process. And she's like, what's there to be grateful there? And like, I immediately, because I always go there, it's just, that's my knee jerk. I'm like, motherfucker's still alive, right? Still got a shot, still got the, like, not dead. Okay, cool. Not in jail, although that could be an upgrade depending on the situations. Caught 3 scores a day, saving, I mean, fuck, I don't know. But you know, not, I mean, still, although not winning with the stuff at the time, still in a better, with better opportunities than a lot of people on the planet, um potentially. And she kind of gave me the look, and I'm like, oh, okay, could suck, but here's the deal, like, we we decide that. And I look at it again, semantics, like, we all phrase things differently. This is my phrasing when it comes to that, is perspective is reality. Now, what does that mean? Well, what that means is perspective, again, is my viewpoint, my impression, my opinion, my whatever on any particular thing or situation, right? So, and that is as real as it fucking gets. Doesn't mean it's right. Okay, that's the catch. But like, my perspective is my reality, and it doesn't fucking matter what you say or what anybody thinks or any of that kind of shit. This is what's happening in this pea brain. And so if I think that's bullshit, then that's bullshit, whatever it is, right? And again, I explain it, I perspective is reality. And it really came to me. I'll share this story. It was a few years ago, and I was, taking these online college courses, and I'm sitting in the computer room up in bumfuck Northeast Oregon, at the time, and I'm looking out the window. Now, I hate winter. I hate cold. I hate snow and ice and bullshit like that. It's not my gig. I did my 30 years of it, taking care of a family and raising kids, doing that, and it was all beautiful and wonderful. But that piece, no bueno. And so now that I have to do a whole lot of that shit, like, I got zero interest in it. However, so I'm looking out the window and I'm doing my classwork, and it's snowing, and it's, late fall, early winter, whatever it is, early in the season, when you get, the big snowflakes and the quiet and this, and I'm looking out at things I hate, right? And it's just spectacular, and it's just beautiful, gorgeous. It's wonderful. And but I'm looking out the same window I'm always looking out at things that I always hate, yet my perspective in that moment was something different, if that makes sense. So I that is what I came up with. That is that perspective is a choice. We can manipulate it. We can decide whatever. What's how do I phrase that? I don't know. It's just I can look at this is what I found out. I can look at something and I can decide whether I like that shit or not, depending on whatever that is. So, and that's my reality. And in that moment, I fucking love winter in that moment. And I mean, I decided like I didn't hang on to that for any length of time because I really don't love winter, but that little piece of it, and I could find some gratitude in that moment and enjoy what that was. But the next time I looked out the window at winter, I hated it. But so, but it was reality. It is reality. That's what it was. That's where I was at. So perspective is reality. Attitude is everything. And that's the key when it comes to that. My attitude in that particular moment was wonderful. So there it was, if that makes sense. And this is the key component because my attitude is right going to obviously dictate a lot of my behavior. If I'm fucking pissed off, angry, not happy, any of that kind of stuff, my behavior is going to be as such. Like I'm going to try to do things to fix that or change it. And yeah, I don't know what that means. Sorry, computer note. But anyway, that's how I view that piece. Perspective is reality. Attitude is everything. So that helps maneuver some shit. Um, Again, so gratitude, right? If that's the topic, what's my perspective on gratitude that builds the reality? And again, my reality drives my attitude. So if my reality is that's dumb, that's a lame process, it's just for newcomers, it's a bunch of bullshit. Actually, too much of my life sucks to actually be grateful for anything, yada yada yada. Then my attitude's probably going to suck, right? And then therefore the consequences thereof. Or again, if I view gratitude as this wonderful spiritual tool, again, this is me allowing the universe to be what it is and being really fucking okay with it. Okay, that's a great place to be. That's a great perspective to have. And that is a great attitude to have. And I share that again because that's where I try to be all the time because that's just fucking smooth. And that's why I share it with people because I feel like if I can get there, you can get there. And I don't judge where you're at. I only listen to what you say. And a lot of times people tell me they're not that good. They're not there. They're not set. And so here you go. Have a tool. Like if shit's hitting the fan in your life, stop, drop anchor, take a breath, take stock, pick the things you're grateful, find the things you're grateful for, give a meaning and a purpose, right? To like go on and trudge the happy road to destiny, so they say, or things like that. These are things that again, they're practiced. These are habits that we build. These are tools in the toolbox. Use them. I mean, the hammer is not the only thing that works in that toolbox. And, again, these are opportunities to change, right? I don't know. Change is a choice. People will frown at me about that too, and I don't care. I've often said, because I'm an arrogant fuck, right? People will say things or counter, and I just say, you have every right to be wrong that you want. And I don't even know what else to say. about things like that. People share things with me all the time, and all I say is, okay, like, okay, I, you can you can have that, I guess. Like, it doesn't matter a lot of the times because people are wherever they're at on their journeys. And when I get flack for things that I win with, I don't know. And that's what I'm going to bring to this room. Like, everything I tell people when I do treatment or therapy or any of that kind of stuff, just their friends, their clients, their colleagues, everything that I share in here, in any of these venues, in any of those situations, is like, I've done it. I've done it. Like, I don't share it because I read it in a book or there was some study that said, if you do this with that rat and yada yada, this bullshit. Again, there is all of that empirical evidence and research that's done in a lot of the things that I do. But the reality of it is my evidence is anecdotal at a minimum, but mostly that. Like, I did this, I was in this situation, I did this, and this happened. Boom. Fact. It becomes fact. Like, that's what happened. That's what it is. That works. Or that doesn't work, whatever that is. And so I share these things again because of the background and because of the history. Again, it was life or death for me. So the toolbox that I was given, like, I fucking, like, it was, these are, like, I used them. I used the tools because I was going to die if I didn't, or at least I believed that. And so that was the motivator. And that's how hard I worked. Doesn't make me better or worse or any of that. That's just, this is my story when it comes to this kind of stuff. So as a result of all that stuff over the last 20, 30, 40 years almost of the recovery path, again, the toolbox is pretty, like, it's big. There's a lot of shit in there. And I've had to do that because I like to change things up. I get bored with the same old hammer. I want a different color fucking set of screwdrivers, and I go get it. And again, what I understand with people is not every tool works the same way for everybody all the time. So if I'm sharing and trying to help a brother or sister out with some shit, like, they can't, like, they don't do it exactly the way I like. I need a different set of tools. Like, I need a lot of, they all end up doing much of the same thing. But again, some people are more handy with, like a set of medical surgery equipment, and some people like a fucking chainsaw and a stick of dynamite, right, to get her done. And so I know how to use them both. And I have used them both. Like, everything that kind of, like I said, everything comes out of my toolbox, I and been successful with, or I wouldn't share it. So that we can take stock in. Hopefully, I mean, if it matters, if you're looking for tools, again, that's what we're doing here. And there you go. So today's gig again, gratitude. I think I made the sales pitch enough. Come find me and fucking let's bounce gratitude lists off each other for 21 days. And then you tell me if your life still sucks. Not that it does, but you know what I'm getting at is just tell me it doesn't have an influence. Tell me it doesn't mean anything. Like, that was a waste of my time. Like, I don't think you can. And so the shameless plugs, share, share, share. And again, reach out to your friends. Take this tool and share the wealth, right? I mean, the people in your life, you want them to feel better about what's going on in their lives too. Share the tools. Invite them in here. Appreciate it. Again, hit the likes, hit the subscribes, hit the memberships. I'm doing a thing at the Patreon platform. So it's www.patreon.com/Keith MF Walker. And so that one's like a membership site, about the same as YouTube and all the others. But there's some opportunities to get into some different tiers of membership, uh, which I'd love to get people involved in that. I do for that crew who's hanging out. Um, Exclusive content, some giveaway stuff, things like that. So come check out the Patreon site. Otherwise, just hang out and all the rest of this. And where are we at? We're at, if you're digging it, share it, comment, get engaged in the gratitude list. Um, you know, if you, yeah, follow, etc. Appreciate all y'all hanging out. If you've hung out for the whole thing, you are truly a spiritual giant and one of the best people on the planet. It's true. I mean, it takes a lot to fucking tolerate me, I suppose. Anyway, all feedback is welcome. Please, please, please take a moment and share with me what you think about what's going on here. And that is going to wrap up again. You know, happy birthday, America. And we, again, if you are one of those who helped build this and keep us in the position that we're at, appreciate that. And what I mean by that is if you're serving in a manner that continues the rest of us to run around like goofballs and do whatever the fuck we want in a lot of ways, you're a fucking rock star. And if you're not, you're still a fucking rock star, right? It's all part of the same team and we all participate. So I am going to, at this point, it's time to say adios for the day. I will see you guys. And I think Sunday is, I know I got a little input to scrap, but I'm not going to. They're going to be short and sweet. So pop in tomorrow for a quick. We're gonna talk church on Sunday for, I don't know. It's going to be a quickie, and we're gonna do that. So please invite yourself into the room. And as far as the rest of you, hi Jessica, I see you hanging out, and I'm just about wrapping up. So hi and bye. Hey, everybody, have a good day. Stay grateful. Stay grateful. Share your list. Tell a friend. Love the planet, etc. All right. See you guys tomorrow. And Facebook. Goodbye. Let's bounce around. We got Patreon. Hey, I'll be back. And like I said, I'll have some exclusive shit for you later. Keep an eyeball out. Okay. Patreon's done. Facebook, your last today. All right. Catch you later.